I'm Mustafa, I'm a first-year medical student, and today we're going to be reacting to injuries from season 1 of Prison Break. You know, that's probably the worst place you could get stabbed at, above the nipple, below the collarbone. A lot of important structures right there, and the first one we're all thinking about is the lungs. So it could be a pneumothorax or a hemothorax. Every time he tries to take a breath in, he has air pushing back in there or blood just accumulating right into the lungs, so he's going to be choking, not being able to breathe. Now, there were so many stabs and he came very close to the sternum, and right behind there you have your heart, so I wouldn't be surprised if he nicked the heart or even stabbed right into the heart, and you'll have cardiac tamponade. So anytime your heart tries to open up to fill with blood, you'll have the fluid right around it compressing it down, so your heart is not going to be pumping very well at all. You know, for all the stabs that he got, one little trickle of blood, that's a really good prognosis actually. Yeah, you absolutely expect him to faint. There's so many reasons. His lungs are compromised. He's not getting enough oxygen. If it goes to the heart is not pumping well enough to get it to the brain. Ultimately, there's not enough oxygen in the brain, so you're gonna pass out.
How you doing? What the hell you doing? Oh, swear to God. You swear what? It ain't gonna work.
Yes, sir.
You got it.
Prison Break loves holding back on the blood. He just lost a whole appendage. That means he severed 2 major arteries, the ulnar and the radial, that take blood to the hand. Not to mention all the veins that take blood up from the hand, so I expect to see a giant pool of blood. If he doesn't stop that bleeding, he's going to go into hypovolemic shock and sadly ever after. But if he gets a tourniquet around his arm, wraps it tight enough to block all those vessels from bleeding, he has time to go to the emergency room, and I will pump him with a whole lot of antibiotics to stop the infection or even worse, sepsis. But as a convicted felon, I'm not sure what the protocols are for the ER, so maybe Germex on the stub will do. But then again, I don't really know.
I think there's a medical kit over here.
Lung is collapsed, but you have to take into account there's a lot of tissue between the back and to your lungs, so maybe his lung was spared.
That bullet went through your teres major and ripped the lateral margin of your scapula, leaving you absolutely no medial rotation of your arms. So
You try to swing that piece of lumber at me.
Hold on a minute, we kind of got to go into detective mode because that doesn't make sense. See, your scapula is like a triangle, and the side closest to the center of your body is called the medial border, and the side away from your body is called the lateral border. And it doesn't take an expert to see that the bullet hole is much closer to the medial border than the lateral border of the scapula. Let's take his word for it. We'll let it slide. He's running on adrenaline, trying to kill somebody, not looking at where the bullet is going. So he's correct to say that the teres major got blown out because it originates on the lateral border of the scapula and it goes and connects onto the humerus, which is your arm bone. Quick interruption, I am not a doctor, I'm a medical student, so don't take anything I say as fact and please go check for yourself. I want to be an emergency medical doctor, so reacting to these shows and these emergencies is a really fun way to keep up with the knowledge and keep it fresh. Oh my God, that brother's a magician. He hid the razor in his mouth. No cuts. Ooh, there's the cut though. Oh my God, brutal. Worst cut you could probably take. Straight to the neck. I hear choking, I hear gurgling, so with the power he put behind that really sharp blade, must have cut through a lot of tissue and got into the trachea, opened it up. Now blood is seeping into the trachea, down into the airway, into his lungs, so effectively he's choking on his own blood.
You stay with me, John. You stay with me.
The only thing I believe in this scene is the visual changes, not enough blood going to the brain, so you'll get the fuzzy, weird looking visuals. He's still alive, somewhat conscious, so he must have missed the major vessels like the common carotid artery and the internal jugular vein, which take blood to the brain and back to the heart. Either of those cut, he would have been dead in minutes, and it's kind of hard to believe if he reached all the way down to the trachea, the blade didn't lacerate one of those. So, unbelievable. Oh no, don't pull it out. Don't pull it out, no. If you ever get stabbed, leave the object in because it's holding you from bleeding out. Let me show you. Imagine you're a bag of blood and you get impaled by a glass shard on a counter. If you leave it in, you'll have time to go to the emergency room and get help. But if you pull it out, I'm not gonna do that. I have carpet all over here, but you get the point. Don't pull it out, go to the ER. It's holding you from bleeding out. Yeah, so if you pull the pencil out of the bag, it'll keep bleeding. And I know everyone's screaming infection, but you'll also become anemic, which causes you to not have enough red blood cells circulating around in your system, so not enough oxygen going to your tissues, especially your brain. You'll get dizzy and then pass out unconscious, and it really goes downhill from there.
Careful, bro.
Oh no, maybe you shouldn't have blown on it. Okay, your skin is the most important protective barrier against the outside world. When you break it, bacteria have an opening to go inside and cause you to get sick. That's why when you go to the doctor's office and they want to give you a shot, they rub a little bit of alcohol on there to kill off as much bacteria as they can, so that when they put a hole in your skin, the bacteria won't have enough strength, you could say, to go inside and cause you to get sick. So that's what the main character here, Michael's, trying to do, kill off all the bacteria from the blade before cutting into himself. But before he cut into himself, he blew on it to cool it off. So he took bacteria from his mouth onto the blade, opened his skin, opened his protective barrier, and now bacteria can go inside that cut. So he exchanged the bacteria that was already on the blade for bacteria in his mouth. We just talked about how the skin is your #1 ally, protecting you from the outside environment, from germs getting into your body, so we're very worried about an infection here.
I'm burned.
Yes, you are. You probably have a 2nd-degree burn. We classify them in several categories. A 1st-degree burn is like a sunburn. Your skin is irritated, but it's still there. A 2nd-degree burn, your skin is burnt off. It's wet. It's very painful. A 3rd-degree burn is so invasive, so deep, it kills off the nerves. You don't feel any pain, and it's black. It looks like it's healing, and that red patch that we see there is called granulation tissue. If you've ever ripped off a scab, the red stuff underneath, that is called granulation tissue, and it's a bunch of red blood vessels with a bunch of other cells coming in together to fix whatever problem happened. In this case, they're building back up the skin, getting that protective barrier, and preventing us from getting infections. Imagine you have a kiddie pool in your living room and one of the kids gets mad and puts a pencil right in it. The water is going to pour out everywhere. Now instead of water, it's acid, the same stuff that breaks down your food, digests your meat, starts leaking into your living room or your body and starts breaking its tissues up. Brutal, I know, but that's not even the worst part, because your stomach has some bacteria in it, and while the acid is destroying your tissues, it's creating homes for that bacteria. But if there isn't enough bacteria in the stomach, we have 2 more stab wounds right over here that open the gates to the western frontier for all the bacteria that live in your intestines, and there's a lot.
Yo, stroke! You got long arms on me, man! You better get out of here! Son of a... That bitch struck me!
This isn't 100% believable, but it does have some merit. If you get an injection into one of the many veins in the dorsal side of your hand, it can go into your bloodstream, spread throughout your body, get to your brain, and knock you out. But if you get a traumatic stab to the back of the hand, you'll probably miss those structures. If not, you'll destroy them, and the drug will go into the tissue, cause the tissue to go numb or whatever effects the drug has, instead of your whole body and knocking you out.
3.
Oh my God! Williams, get in here! What the hell happened? An accident.
We see a lot of bleeding, and we've gone over all the concepts we need for this injury. Stop the bleeding, #1. #2, clean the area up, decontaminate it, remove all those germs that are trying to get in there, make a home and get you sick. #3, this is a new one. Find the toes, wrap them in something cool, put them on ice, save them, and get to the ER. Hopefully they can put them back together. Prison Break is such a great show. I definitely recommend you guys watching it. I'm gonna leave you one of my favorite spoilers at the end of this video. If you'd like me to react to season 2 of Prison Break Injuries, leave it down in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you.
This is where you're breaking out of? This room?
There are alarm contacts on the glass surrounding the door. Otherwise, I wouldn't need you to.
I was part of your plan. Was it all an act?
At first, yes. I needed to be here. But then I wanted be here with you.
Right.
And it's killing me to know that you'll never believe that.